You said something very interesting, which kind of I find it as a taxpayer a little disturbing that the CIO's role, isn't necessarily to save costs, even though a lot of times they can really reduce a significant amount of the cost and really help, a county or a state step up its game and have a little bit of a surplus in their, revenue to do more things for
Sure.
the citizens. Do you feel like that's a just old politics per se, or is it something more of we're the people who we elect don't necessarily understand IT most of the time and information technology in general, nevertheless security, which we'll get to in a minute, but that they just don't really
I don't think it's about the technology.
empower.
I think there is a fair amount of it as being old school. And I'm doing you the honor of being honest in this conversation because while it's not fun to say and most people won't say it out loud, everybody knows it. No
Right.
one's surprised when you say the situation with a $500 hammer, right, or a
Right.
$400 toilet seat. And you can explain why it is that way. But the reality is your politicians are not fired for not picking the lowest price option, right? So there are other factors that drive them. And we've all witnessed it for decades and decades and decades with government. So it's not about the technology. I do think a CIO, though, has the moral responsibility, given multiple options, which there always are, maximizing cost savings, profitability, revenue driving, whatever it might be, so that the impact to the taxpayers is as small as possible to deliver the maximum value. To me, that's a moral driver for anyone that's sitting in that role, but it is not typically how a government organization is judged, whereas a private sector is solely judged on its profitability.
Do you feel like that's something that we should change?
Oh, absolutely. When I look at it, I think public sector ought to be judged equally by its fiscal responsibility. And I also think it should be judged by the quality of its outcomes. Now, on the private sector side, I think, and you're seeing this, which is great, you see, I can't remember what they're called, but corporations that have a social driver as well.
Right.
So it's not just the profitability, but I think they have a triple bottom line that they're trying to maximize. And I think that's a good thing. I think we'll see it. As each generation comes along, they demand more from the organizations that drive society, and I think we will see kind of a blending of those two.
The CyberHub Engage podcast is brought to you by CyberHub Summit. CyberHub Summit is the leading executive cybersecurity education forum hosting their second annual event in Atlanta, Georgia on October 10th. You can find out more at cyberhubsummit.com.